Jenny Winters from the Lake County Regional Office of Education, and I'm here to talk to you today about the new standards that Illinois has adopted for first grade in mathematics. This graphic shows the language of the standards for first grade. The words that are the largest are the words that have appeared most often in the standards. So you can see that addition and subtraction, numbers, understanding, those are key words that your students are going to be saying and talking about when they come home to you. These are the four critical areas that first graders are going to focus on. The first one is the most important, where it talks about addition and subtraction. Students are going to be spending a great deal of time building quantities and understanding the operations of addition and subtraction. And they're going to build their sense of understanding in lots of different ways. The second big topic that they're going to talk about is building their sense of base 10. They're going to work with two-digit numbers and use objects and building those sense of quantity where they're not just going to memorize anymore. Now they're going to have a deep understanding. The third big topic for first graders is to understand the process of measurement and how and why we measure things, mainly focusing on measuring length or distance measurement. And then the fourth topic for first graders is the idea of composing and decomposing shapes. They're going to talk about how to build two-dimensional figures and also how to build three-dimensional figures like cubes. They're going to do these in the following units. The first unit that first graders are going to talk about is measurement, and they're going to build on their sense of counting that they spent so much time on in kindergarten to measure lengths of objects with what we call non-standard objects, like color tiles or unifix cubes or links that they're going to line up next to each other and count the length of something and then be able to make graphs and bar graphs of the lengths that they've measured. In their second unit of study, they're going to talk about geometry of shapes, and they're going to also relate that to time, because by the end of first grade, students should be able to tell time to the nearest hour and also to the nearest half hour. And they're going to relate that to their understanding of breaking a circle up into halves and quarters. In their third unit of study, this is where first graders are going to spend so much time on those operations on addition and subtraction. Within 20 is the focus of their attention. They're going to memorize their facts based on this understanding up to 10. But they're going to do this with the understanding of composition and decomposition of number. Like if we were trained to take a quantity, they're going to understand that 3 plus 4 is equal to 7 by building it, and they'll record the equations to represent that. They'll draw pictures of what they're building. They're going to spend a lot of time having that sense of understanding those operations. It's not good enough just to memorize our facts anymore. Now we really have to know how to apply them and understand them in real-life situations. The fourth unit of study, the last unit, is building their sense of place value within 100. This is going to lay the foundation for second grade, where they're going to add and subtract those numbers within 100. But in first grade, they're going to work with those. They'll be doing some adding and subtracting only with manipulatives and building in pictures and building that sense of what those two-digit numbers really mean. They're going to do this in a lot of different ways. The teachers are going to be exposing your children to all sorts of different tools, like I mentioned before with those manipulatives. They might use base 10 blocks, or color tiles, or pattern blocks. You might see dominoes come home for practice with fluency with addition fraction, or play games with dice and the dominoes and different card games. They might use tools like these, which are angle legs that will help them to compose those two-dimensional figures. And also, you might see things like links, or these fantastic tools which are called digiblocks, which help them with that sense of base 10. They might use two-color counters, or like these unifix cubes that I was mentioning before. Of course, they might use literature in the classroom as well, and the literature represents pictures that the students are going to be building. They want to be able to represent those, draw pictures and see pictures and analyze those pictures. One of the most important pictures they're going to be working with are number lines, because a number line is a great representation of distance. A third mode that they're going to be using is that written symbol, where they're going to write those equations to represent that addition and subtraction that they're solving. A fourth mode we want our children using in class, where they're talking to their friends and they're also talking to their teacher and hopefully coming home to talk to you about the things that they're doing in class and explaining why they're doing what they're doing, what's the mathematical reasoning behind what they're doing with those tools. Finally, the last mode of representation, and the most important one, is that real-world application. You're going to see your children solving all sorts of word problems involving addition and subtraction so that they can represent how they understand those math facts and apply them to realistic situations. Memorizing math facts and not applying them to the real world is not useful. I hope that you're as excited about these new standards as your children's teachers.